My name is Estella Square Banks. I am the daughter of the late Willie T. and Clara Bird Square. Fondly, I am a member of the first graduating class of Scotlandville, Louisiana. We began as 7th and 8th grade students and added a year, a time until we graduated from being 12th graders at Scotlandville. And the roots are deep. My dad was the first PTA president, the late Willie T. Square Sr.
Okay, Miss Banks, what was the community like growing up in the Scotlandville area?
The community was an extended community because everybody walked, unless they lived in Alson or in Dixie. Everybody walked from the Bradley Road area or from the Scotlandville area all the way from Blunt Road. And so we were interdependent and very much loving. All of the parents knew us, and so we spoke to the parents and they knew our parents, and it made it a cohesive community.
How do you feel being in first class to graduate from Scotlandville?
I feel marvelously well. I'm very proud of having become a part of that class. Our teachers decided, they commended us on being the best possible. Mr. William Breeder, and Mrs. Shirley Breeder were our sponsors, and those two, as senior leaders, worked with us from grades 8 through 12. Therefore, it was more like a family affair between the teachers, the students, and the community. My dad was the PTA chairperson. He was the president, and so he was there all the time, and so were many of those from Zion City, from Alson, from Dixie, and then, of course, from Scotlandville.
Okay, so what kind of extracurricular activities you did in school?
Certainly nothing that required physical education activities. But I did hold the teacher's roll book for her sometimes in physical education, and I did earn a complimentary D, which I very much appreciated. You know, I'm very appreciative of that. But other than that, if it was academic or competitive, as far as learning is concerned, I wanted to be on every program. I wrote a few plays that were presented on stage, and at one time, Mr. Nicholas S. Harrison decided that I would chair all of the committees dealing with the programs, although I was a student. And I think that's one of the good things about education, when teachers are aware enough not to criticize, but to just work them, challenge them, and encourage them. And I was the one. I had a lot of fun.
Okay, and who was your principal at the time?
When we first went to Scotlandville Junior Senior High School, Mr. K.L. Patty was the principal, and then and Mr. Nicholas S. Harrison. But then later, Mr. Harrison went to the junior high when the schools split, and so we had Mr. Henry Essex as one of the principals. So at that time, the entire community was cohesive, and so they looked out for those of us who were graduating, so we could be promised a job, and they fulfilled that promise that they made to us when we were being instructed.
Yeah, so was there any, like, racist, like, integration going on?
None at all. That, for us, was a plus. Of course, there's variety. They say it's the spice of life, but we do not have a racial variety until the federal government ruled that the schools had to be integrated, and that is what made the difference. I was moved to Zachary High School at that time. I didn't voluntarily go.
So like with the mascot, how did you feel about when they had changed the mascot and they went from the Eagles?
It hurt us very much. We, along with the parents and the the loving community that we grew up in, that took part in everything. Our materials were thrown out. It hurt us very badly, even though we were adults. We were mothers, fathers, grandparents, but our materials were thrown into the mud outside, thrown into garbage cans, and so just a few were recovered, but they just destroyed everything that made it appear that we had ever been at that school. It was very painful.
So if you could change anything about the school now, how things are now, or add or include something within the community of the school, what would it be?
I think I'm sure that you have used the number one word, and that is together. I like Mayor Kip Holden's theme, Together Baton Rouge. Well, it's together in the home, together in the school, together in the church, therefore together in the extended community. And so if I could change anything at all, and of course because of industry and the building, the interstate just tore up our neighborhood, along with, of course, what was right for civil rights to integrate, to give us a choice. But if I could change it, I would still like the old way where everybody's mother was everybody's mother, and everybody's father was everybody's father. And we knew where everybody lived, and we could say, "Hi, y'all, Miss Susie." "Hi, y'all, Mr. Green." And that was just so personal. And Mr. Jack, Mr. Arthur Jack, was over the, he was a custodian, but he was over the concession room. And he saw some kids never have money for concessions, and he would go in his pocket and give to children who didn't have any money to buy anything from the concession stand. We had a concession stand, not a machine.
So, how you feel knowing that you're a proud winner of Lumina Scotlandale?
The best. Everybody's mother was everybody's mother. Everybody's dad or grandmother was everybody's dad or grandmother. And so it was wonderful. We put each other in the 12s. People was, you know what the 12s are?
No.
The dozens.
Oh.
So the boys said that they were taking our mothers out for dates. And our girls said that they wanted the dads from our class to pick them up. But we were just being facetious. Nobody was angry. But now they shoot, stab, curse, and gang fight. But that's what we did. That was a method of growing up, I think. Thinking that we are going out with your dad. Tell your dad to pick me up tonight. But today they would stab, shoot, gang fight about that kind of thing. It was innocence of children. Children have lost their innocence so many places, unfortunately.
So, you used to walk to school?
Oh, yes. I grew up in the house next door here. We grew up on 2 acres of land. We had 2 horses, 2 plow horses. We had 2 cows, milk cows. We always had a hog, and we had a hog killed when it got cold, so that we had the crackling to share with all the neighbors, and a piece of pork to share with them. Whenever we did the churning, shaking a jar with the cream, we shared with the neighbors. So it was just one big celebration for a family of people in the community. Nowadays, most of us in some of the neighborhoods don't know each other by name. And there are a few persons whose names I don't know, but I do know a few. But the neighborhood has changed because the older people have passed away, and the people my age and younger have gone for better employment possibilities. So we're one of the few families here from the old days.
Well, thank you for allowing me to interview you.
It was my wonderful pleasure. You know, I always liked center stage. I told you, I volunteered for all of the programs. And Mr. Harrison said, "Estella, we have a program coming up. Choose the children that will be in the program." So that's what we do. And I'd like to say that with God first, we can achieve it. Unfortunately, we have an overwhelming number of maternal households, but those are not weaknesses. Those are strengths. We rise to the course, and God ain't made no junk.
Okay, that's 10 minutes. Stop it.
Yes, ma'am.